Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Indian Metals and FERRO Alloys Limited Q4 FY22 Analyst Conference Call hosted by Perfect Relations Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing the star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Mamta Samad from Perfect Relations. Thank you and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Imphas Q4 FY22 Analyst Conference Call. Today we have with us the senior management represented by Mr. Prem Khandelwal, CFO and Company Secretary, Mr. Vijay Anand Mohapatra, COO, Mr. Deepak Mohanty, Head of FERRO Alloy Business Unit, Mr. Binay Agarwal, Head of Power Business Unit, and Mr. Sandeep Narade, Head Mines Business Unit. Before we begin, I would like to say that some of the statements that will be made in today's discussion may be forward-looking in nature. We will begin the call with the opening remarks from the management, after which we will have the forum open for the interactive Q&A session. I would now request Mr. Prem Khandelwal for the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Financial numbers are already with all of you. It's in the public domain. We have published that. So I'll start with the production numbers, production and sale numbers. Production for Q4 is 61,462 tons and sales is 70,395 tons. Average realization for the quarter is 106,000 tons, around 106,000 tons, and the average cost is around 82,700 tons. With that, we can start the question answer session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Our first question is from the line of Shubham Agarwal with Equitress India. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and good morning to the entire team. So firstly, my question is with regards to volumes. So if we see the production number this quarter versus last quarter, we have seen a significant drop. And if we also see the overall production number, which was 246,000 for the current year, has seen a 5% drop compared to 559,000, almost 560,000. So I wanted to know now, going forward, what kind of volume can we expect, and is there some debottlenecking possibility from our plant?
Shubham, you are comparing the Q4 versus Q4 of last year.
Yeah, Q4 versus Q4 of last year and overall FY22 number versus FY21 number.
Deepak, would you explain that?
Yeah, I will explain. Shubham, actually, last quarter of the previous FY21, it was 67,000 versus 61. That's primarily because, the pandemic, because of the pandemic, prior to that we were producing, but a lot of material remained unprocessed, which have been handled in the fourth quarter. That is one of the major reasons for which the number is 67,500 in that quarter vis-a-vis 61,000. That is one major. And apart from that, particularly on annual figures, if you talk about, it's a drop of about 13,000-14,000. So that also includes that backlog material. Major quantities backlog material. Apart from that, we have suffered sometimes on account of the oxygen in the month of April, May, and liquid oxygen supplies, and then the Yas cyclone, particularly at Chodwar, and one of our this switchyard transformer was out last year. For that reason, we have little bit drop in production. And also there is another reason. We have produced this particular year ferrochrome with higher grade, like 61 point odd as against 59 point something in the previous year. So that accounts for also quite a bit of volume. So with the same kind of ore, with same quantity of ore, you produce higher grade than you produce less. So on those accounts, basically the difference. But as you know, we produce around 250,000 per annum, and every quarter it will be in the range of 60 to 62,000. So in that manner, it is more or less in line, and particularly in this quarter also will be in that similar 61,000 level.
Okay,
I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you for the elaborate answer. And secondly, now coming to cost of production. So basing the number that is given to us, it seems like we had a cost increase of almost 4,200 rupees per ton Q1Q. So I wanted to understand, and most likely this cost increase is because of coke and coal. So going ahead now from Q1 onwards, do we see further increase in cost per ton, or we kind of settled on per ton cost right now at 80 to 700?
No, Shubham, I think we'll see some more cost pressure in Q1 on account of coke and coal, because the prices have gone up, particularly the coal price has gone up very high, so which is going to be consumed in Q1 and Q2. So we might see some more cost pressure in Q1 especially.
Okay, sir, but as per your internal estimation, what would be per ton increase in cost basis our raw material average right now?
That we need to work out. We have not yet worked out that. Depends on what kind of stock we are consuming.
Okay.
But
it would be
difficult to predict at the moment.
Okay. But so the cost increase will be similar to Q4 versus Q3, or it will be slightly higher than that?
Q3 versus Q4, if you see, the cost increase is around 8,000 rupees a ton. Okay. So, yeah, maybe around that level, we could see a cost pressure of around that level only in Q1
versus Q4.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. And lastly, on the realization part, so obviously we saw a drop in Q4, but since then, I think the realization of ferrochrome has been very strong, upwards of almost 125,000. So going ahead, firstly, I wanted to understand what was the key reason why this realization is so high, and what is the predictability of this realization staying high?
Deepak, would you answer that?
So you are talking about realization going up in the Q4, or you are asking from Q4 to Q1? It will. What is the
Q4 to Q4? Deepak, Q4 to Q1 realization has gone down. Yeah.
Q4, Q1, as you know, because of the Russia-Ukraine war and other things, nickel prices went up. And there was cyclone in Australia, which affected the coking coal and all. So coke and all other prices went up. So for that reason, the previous quarter raise was not taken care, for which you must have heard the benchmark increased by 36 cents in Q1 of this year. Okay, so that is the reason the increase. But it is little bit truncated, particularly in case of China because of the pandemic situation. So anyway, we are expecting higher realization in Q1 compared to Q4 of last year, and going forward, it will be more or less in similar line, because again in South Africa, lot of floods, it's raining, and once already Durban was affected heavily, and again it is expected to be affected. And once Chinese chrome stock has gone down to 2.4 million level from under 2.7, and prior to that 3.5, industrial activities will come down. But once the pandemic situation gets softened, then things will be different, and we are expecting more or less in similar line at least for next quarter going ahead, a minor slowdown could happen.
Okay. And sir, there was also news that chrome ore export out of South Africa went down significantly because of floods there. Did this also help increase in realization?
It's not. In China, particularly the May tender price went up by 650 RMB from their earlier 9,000 to 9,650. That mainly because of chrome ore prices going up from the UG2, which is mostly used, which was around 175. That went ahead between now 295 to 300. To that extent only, but the activity level has come down there also in China because of the pandemic. Zero COVID policy by the Chinese government. So for that reason, and the stocks are coming down. So post once COVID situation softens, naturally the activity will go up, and in that situation, this Durban port affected, which is the major port, and chrome ore availability, things are going to go up faster than the present scenario.
Okay. And thank you for the answer, sir. So lastly, I had few bookkeeping questions. So firstly, if you see the employee cost, it has gone up by almost 20 crores on an average this quarter. So if you can explain the reason. Secondly, on the depreciation side, it has gone up by 10 crores without any capex, getting capitalized. So I wanted to know this reason also. And lastly, on the tax, what would be our average tax going forward? These three bookkeeping questions I have.
As far as depreciation is concerned, Shubham, that has gone up because we have changed the life of some of the mining assets. Because as the auditors had pointed out that the mining asset life should be taken as per the mining lease. Till now we were providing depreciation based on Companies Act. So because of that, the depreciation has gone up by 10 crore, changing the life of assets, mining assets especially. And depreciation, since we have now opted for new regime, so depreciation rate is going to be around 25% going forward. What was the third one?
Is the employee cost and taxation?
Employee cost is basically gone up because of the managerial remuneration provision of commission for directors. So since the profit has gone up, so the managerial remuneration has also gone up in Q4.
This will normalize from Q1 onwards, right?
Yes.
Okay. And taxation, new regime, so 25%.
25%, yes.
Okay. So fair enough. That's it from my side, and best of luck for the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Siddharth Mehta with Strategica. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Thanks for the wonderful job you guys have been doing. We are very happy to see Infra going forward. My question was related to the pricing that you see for ferrochrome going forward. Do you see the increases in prices sustaining? Do you see a higher price? Do you see that it should go past our excess cost that you are foreseeing of about 8,000 rupees per ton? And the second question was, are you comfortable with the supply for the Mahanadi coal and all the linkages? Are you comfortable with that going forward, or are there problems in getting that?
See, as far as price is concerned, very difficult for us to give any long-term projection for our prices. At best, we can predict for next 2 quarters. So as Mr. Deepak already informed, next 2 quarters look to be good. Beyond that, very difficult to predict any price movement. And as far as coal is concerned, I'll request Power BU head, Mr. Vinay, to brief you.
Actually, I just wanted to convey, we have linkage option through, we have fuel supply agreement with MCL through linkage auction, and our total capacity through linkage auction is 458,000, which is, we are self-sustained with that tonnage of coal. And now actually what is happening, we are getting by road coal and we are not getting by rail coal, and we are pursuing with MCL to get rail coal by road, so that our problem will be little bit easier to for our generation.
So this is part of the increase that we are seeing, the 8,000 rupees per ton increase. This is partly contributing partly to that increase.
Sorry, I couldn't get you. Actually, by rail,
The
cost
cost
is
increase that you have mentioned of 8,000 rupees per ton, this issue is also contributing partly to that?
Yeah, coal is part of that.
Coal is part of that.
Yeah, coal is part of that.
Yeah. And as far as pricing goes, I understand nobody can predict, of course, the future. But
Yeah.
from your sense of it in the next quarter and the quarter after that, are you seeing an increase to counter offset this 8,000 rupees, or this 8,000 rupees you feel we'll have to absorb?
No, as we have already told that the price increase we are seeing around the Q4 price, average price was around 1,06,000, and we are expecting it to be around 1,20,000 in Q1.
Okay,
and around the same level in Q2 also.
Q2. Okay. All right. That answers my question.
Thank you.
Right. All right. And one last question on the court
Yeah.
dates. Every time we notice that they give us a court date, can we be a little bit aggressive and insist that now too many dates are there and put some little bit aggressiveness and say that no, we want to go forward on this case? How many court dates are we going to get like this?
Which court date you're talking about? Utkal coal?
Yes, Utkal C.
Utkal C court date, we are just trying to expedite the determination of compensation. Otherwise, the allotment is already there, and the agreement is to be signed. Once the agreement is signed, then dates are frozen. Within 80 days, we should be getting back our money.
Right.
Okay, so we are waiting for the allotment agreement to be signed. And in the meantime, if the court case comes, then we'll again push the matter there for expediting the matter.
So the bottleneck here or the broken link here is the agreement to be signed, or the bottleneck here is the court date, which is the critical issue right now.
Court date is not a bottleneck. Court date is just a route to expedite the allotment agreement signing.
Okay. So either one, whichever comes first, that will be in our favor. Yeah. So may I request sincerely to be little aggressive, to request the judge to now hear the matter instead of just giving us dates every time. It's been going on for, I think, now over a year now. So
those things in India how court functions. So
no, I agree.
Even if we request them, they are not going to listen. They will give date as per their convenience only.
Yeah. Anyway, please do try to be little aggressive.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor with Kapoor Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaskar, sir, and thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, Saket.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Fine.
Yes, sir. Sir, firstly, sir, on this court case date passed, sir, already I think so there's a new winner for the coal block. So and I think so we have withdrawn the PLI earlier because of this, which the process has gone through. So what is currently the merit of the case? It is the compensation part only we are seeking. I just wanted to understand the court and the post the allotment happening now. What is the merit of the case, this date coming up?
No, this is a different case, Saket, altogether. The earlier PIL we had withdrawn because the allotment was not being done. So once the allotment has been done, we have withdrawn the PIL. Then we have gone to the court for early determination of compensation.
Okay.
So it's a different case. That case is over.
Okay. So now this case is for the compensation part to be released to us.
Yes.
And that will happen only when the block is awarded and that agreement is signed.
Block is already awarded and we are waiting for agreement to be signed. So once that is done, then there is a period of 80 days. Within 80 days, we should be getting back our money.
Okay. So there is no ambiguity as such now. It is only the time-consuming process that is to be understood now.
Ambiguity in the sense?
And in the sense of release of money and the amount which is to be received by the company. Do the compensation amount need to be determined also?
No, the compensation amount has not been determined. That's why we into the court that at least that should be determined.
Okay.
That is also not being done. So, but as per the process, once the allotment agreement is signed, then they will start that process of determination of compensation.
Okay.
Okay, so that is still not done.
So 80 days is only a temporary, just a number. It may drag along further also. They will pay interest in that case.
No, 80 days is for all this process only, for determination of compensation, then payment by the new allotee to government and from government to us.
Okay.
The 80 days period is for all this process.
Correct, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, coming to this expansion part, sir, of the story at the Kalinganagar expansion, sir, as today in the earlier interview, Mr. Panda, our MD, did clarify that the land allotment process will happen, and I think the 33 crores have been spent currently. So, what is the further progress on the same, and the ore for this expansion would be from the existing mines only? We will be expanding the capacity there.
That also Mr. Panda has clarified in the interview.
Right.
That we are spending money on furnace as well as mines. Okay, so the ore from this for this expansion will also come from our existing mines only.
Correct, sir. Sir, on the taxation part, sir, we have mentioned that we are opting for the new tax regime, and going forward, the tax rate would be at 25.17% to be precise. And also the same has been accounted for this year also. Correct me there. But sir, when we look at the cash flow statement, we find the cash generation at 604 crores and the direct tax paid at 214 crores. That works out to be around 35% only. So if you could clear
that tax paid could have some other elements also, last year elements also. So that is not only the advance tax.
Okay.
So last year tax also will pay in this year, so that will also come.
Prior period adjustment also.
Prior period adjustment will also come in tax, because that is cash flow statement. So whatever tax we are paying pertaining to current year, pertaining to last year, that will also come in that figure. But if you see the provision is 177 crores.
Okay, sir. 177 crores.
Yes.
Sir, and sir, if we take the capital work in progress part also, therein also that has gone up from 248 crore to 266 crore. So what is that pertaining to, sir? Working operational capex only?
We have normal capex of 60-70 crore every year, so some part could have been come there. Some project we have taken which is in process.
Correct, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right, sir. Right. Thank you, sir. I'll come in the queue, sir.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Yash Chanda, an investor. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone, and congratulations for a great set of numbers, sir.
Thank you, yes.
Friends, sir, I would like to know one thing on the coal side. How are our contracts priced? Whether they are long-term contracts, index-linked, or do we do spot purchases? Because the power cost was flat even in Q2, but later on it has gone up significantly in Q3 and Q4 as expected due to coal. So how are we managing this coal crisis, sir?
Bina, would you answer that?
Yeah. Actually, we have fuel supply agreement with MCL through linkage e-auction. And in tranche 5, we got around 360,000 metric ton, and earlier linkage was 1 lakh. Around 460,000 we will be getting from NCL through linkage e-auction. And our requirement is around 5 lakh. And because we are using Bossary reject and MCL coal in the ratio of 70-30, so our requirement is almost getting fulfilled through our linkage e-auction. And that 50,000 requirement, that will be fulfilled through spot e-auction or exclusive auction.
And this we are talking about thermal coal, right, sir?
Yeah, thermal coal.
I also understand that we procure coking coal from some international markets.
Oh, that is being used in FA.
No, we are not
let me answer this. We don't buy coking coal. We buy coke. So
okay, we buy coke.
Those prices has gone up. Certainly at the moment, if you buy, it is more than $700. But always we keep plan and keep. So our inventory, whatever it is there, that will go up to October, and we have bought at a substantial lower price than the present, and kept things which is on the voyage or something on the port, with all that we'll be managing. And we expect the prices to come down around in 2-3 months' time once the situation improves and logistic cost bottlenecks go out with the pandemic thing getting softening. So then we'll be again ordering. So we maintain an inventory of around 6 months, so which help us in keeping the cost much lower than the present market scenario. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. So what is our current coke cost dollar per ton, if I ask? Because recently China also exported something to India at, I think, 600, 620 CFR. Now it is at 700, as you are saying.
Our major booking and the latest major booking, so that is in the range of $480 to $490. But we have got certain small quantity also, which is something like around $660 around also, small quantity. So basically to increase the lead time for our next booking. So overall average will be much lower than the present.
And we have
prior to that also it was lower. Yeah.
And this stock 480 or 500, whatever average may come, 500, 520, we have till October, you are saying, sir, right?
Till October end.
Okay. Prem sir, second clarification. Recently you had mentioned that currently our mines capacity is 650,000, which we are planning to take up to 1.2 million ton by FY27.
Yeah.
Yes, but our plant at Kalinganagar will be a 1 lakh ton plant, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So that will need a 250,000 ton over roughly at a very, very rough estimate.
Yes.
So are we planning to do oversell as well, or is there any plan to debottleneck or expand?
We'll keep on expanding furnace capacity. There is no plan to sell ore. So,
Okay.
but as of now, we have planned for 2 furnaces only, and as and when we get more ore, we'll plan for more furnaces.
So, do we have enough space in the current facility at?
Yes, we have space for 1 more furnace in the current facility. So that will take up after FY26.
Current facility to be taken up at. And what will that number be, sir, when we expand the current facility?
So that we have not yet worked out anything. We'll take up once it comes to that level.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right.
Yeah. Too premature to discuss about that.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Yeah.
One more question on the duty change which has happened. Now I understand INFA is majorly export player, but do you foresee any impact on domestic ferrochrome prices because of this? As 10-15% of the sales are domestic.
There is no levy on ferrochrome.
But due to stainless steel demand, sir.
No, but duty is on steel, not on ferrochrome or stainless steel. I don't think it is on stainless steel.
No, sir.
Duty. You are talking about the new export duty?
Yes, sir. The new export duty couple of days ago.
Export duty on steel. It is on steel. It is not on stainless steel.
All right, sir. I'll check once.
Yeah, because stainless steel, as it is in India, the installed capacity is much more than what they can consume.
Right, sir. Right. Also, sir, earlier the senior management was saying that we produced 61.7-62% ferrochrome from the same quality of ore earlier, from which we were using to produce 59. Which has impacted our volume. So are we getting a premium also which compensates for the volume? What kind of premium do we get per % of higher FECR, sir?
The normal price is for 60% of chromium content. So if the chromium content is more, then we'll get better price. Better realization. Better realization for that.
So that better realization compensates for the volume loss?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Got it, sir. Got it. That's all from my side, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Abhijit Mitra with ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. So I have 2 small questions actually. First, on your ferrochrome sales for the full year, what would that number be? Sorry, I don't have that number.
For FY22 you're talking about?
Yes.
FY22 total sales is 248,000 tons.
Okay, 248. Okay, got it. And this chrome ore you have increased, quite substantially in terms of production, almost 7% YOI. So this growth rate we will continue to see for the next couple of years as well. How is this sort of?
Yes. In fact, currently we are targeting more than 6 lakh tons, And once our increased capacity in line, maybe by FY25 or 26, we are expecting around 8 lakh tons. So gradually it will go up.
Okay, 25, 26, 8 lakh tons. But because of falling grade, is the production of ferrochrome coming off, or how is it happening? Or because of capacity being sort of completely utilized?
Falling grade of what? Falling grade of chromo you're talking about?
Yes.
No, but grade of chromo is not falling.
So how do you explain the decline in ferrochrome production when your chromo production has gone up?
The chromium content is going up in our production, ferrochrome production. It's not in chromore. It's not in chromore.
Okay. So probably from 55% to 60%, that shift is up.
Earlier we used to produce 59%. Now we are producing 61%. So we will be getting some premium.
Okay. Got it. And just to understand the capex profile over the next few years, what would be your capex guidance for the next 3 to 4 years? How will the capex ramp up?
Next 4 years, 550 crore on furnace we have to spend. And some expenditure would be there on the mining front as well. So mining total 1,000 crore we are going to spend over a period of 7 years.
Okay. Okay, got it. And then there's, I mean, based on the planning now, there is no sort of immediate plan of raising debt or anything of that sort?
No. In fact, this entire capex of 1,500 crore, whatever is there, 1,600 crore, to be spent over a period of 7 years, we are planning from internal accruals as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, and your furnace capacity will start showing from which year? Sorry, the last question from my end.
By end of FY25, it should be operational. So FY26, it will be visible.
Okay. So 1 lakh ton of incremental capacity.
Yes.
Which will take your total ferrochrome production to probably around 3.5 lakh.
Yeah, 3.5 lakh.
And your mining capacity would reach by around 8 lakh tons by that point of time.
Yes.
Okay. And total capex, I'll just repeat, it's 1,500 crores or it's 1,000 crores incremental?
1,000 crore is on mines and 550 crore on the furnace. Total 1,550 crore, roughly 1,600 crores you can say.
Okay, got it. Okay. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Joe Shah with 7 Seas Enterprise. Please go ahead.
Binoy, one question for you. Do we get price advantage when we sign long-term coal linkages with Mahanavi, or we get it from at the current prices? Or we just get the quantity from them, but we have to pay the current prices, coal at current prices. So please clarify this.
Actually, our requirement per annum is 5 lakh metric ton of MCL coal, because we are using blending coal of MCL as well as washery reject. So our requirement is 5 lakh. Out of 5 lakh, we have long-term fuel supply agreement for 5 years with MCL, that is 4 lakh 58,000. Another 42,000 requirement is there per annum. That can be bought in the open market like spot e-auction and exclusive e-auction. Actually, our MCL requirement is very less compared to washery reject.
No, but from Mahanavi, we get a predetermined price. We have to pay current price, or
no, that is fixed by notified price. They declare notified price during the auction time, and we pay the transportation by road and by rail, and that price is fixed. And if MCL increases that notified price, then only the coal price will go up. Otherwise, it will remain at the same price.
So we get price advantage by buying from MCL, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Another question for you, Prem. Now this 1 lakh ton capacity, Kalinganagar, that ore will be getting from open cast mine, or we have to wait for underground Sukinda also to get the ore for Kalinganagar expansion?
No, we'll be getting from both the mines, open cast as well as underground.
No, but this Sukinda underground is going to take time. So will there be balance, or there will be mismatch?
Sukinda open cast is still there, Jyotindra Bhai, up to next 7-8 years.
Yes.
So after that we'll go underground. But till then we'll be getting ore from open cast.
Okay.
So it's like whatever combination is today, we will continue with that combination going forward also. For the new furnaces, we'll be getting both from open cast as well as underground.
Even without Sukinda underground, we can manage 1 lakh ton of Kalinganagar expansion, right?
Yes.
Prem, I will give you answer.
The
question is slightly different. Sir, actually, we are planning to enhance the MMC underground, which is running now from 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs. Okay?
Yes.
So this one will be done very fast. So with these 6 lakhs and our open cast for MMC will be coming around 3 lakhs. Okay?
Excuse me.
So within 6 to 7 years, hello?
Yes.
So within 6 to 7 years, we look at all the open cast thing from band 2. By that time, our underground will be there, which will be enhanced to 6 lakhs or 9 lakhs. That depends upon the course of time. So 6 lakhs plus 6 lakhs, that is adjunct, 6 lakhs from underground of MMC and 6 lakhs from underground of SMC, that goes to 1.2.
Open cast will come to end after 6-7 years or so, right?
Say this open cast of band 1 is getting closed by 24 second half. Then by that time we'll strip out the band 2 open cast, which will take out to another 6 years.
Okay. Now, Deepak, one more futuristic question for you. If you know that China is coming out of COVID restrictions, in Shanghai also it is reported that COVID is under control, and the interest rate by Chinese government has also, lending rate has been reduced. It is unlike in USA or Europe where economies are overheated and they are increasing rates. Here in China they are reducing rates to gear up the economy. So my feeling is that going forward, demand from China for ferrochrome will increase, and we should have better realization. If we check UG2 chromo price from South Africa, it is around $300, and China is paying $300 for UG2, means they are ready to pay higher cost for ferrochrome. Yes. So my feeling is that going forward from July, August, September also, we can see some increase in benchmark price from $2.16 onwards, maybe some cent more. So our realization for 22-23 should be much higher than the last year 21-22, say 110,000 or something like that. So although we cannot predict more than 2 quarters, but still feeling is that turnover for the year 22-23 should be more than 3,000 crore rupees, and absolute EBITDA also should be higher than present year's EBITDA. So, what is your reading, please?
No, my reading is prices in Europe and other places need to come down a little bit, and in China it should go up so that the demand-supply balance remains in tandem and demand destruction doesn't happen, which has happened to some extent in European countries and other places. So according to me, if it remains at a stage, overall there will be probably better, because if the prices remain at this level all the time, then there will be demand destruction. You might have heard in Denmark and all, this slaughtering house projects and everything got shifted because of the high stainless steel price. So according to me, something in the European side that war should be settled, because Europeans depend heavily on coal onto Russia side. So if without that, their electricity prices goes up and the cost of production goes up, and that will lead to a demand destruction, which is not good for overall. So similarly in China also, it is at a much lower price than the European. So that should go up, and it will go up because of the reasons I have already told. The stock of chromo is less, and even South Africa is affected. With all those things, naturally, when the demand comes, with the government's intervention in reducing other things, and the pandemic situation becomes stable, so it will go up. So there will be a meeting point where the overall thing is good for keeping the demand supply in tandem with a high price for everybody. And even the nickel prices, this is still hovering in 28,000. That needs to come down. So otherwise, things are will not be in tandem. Okay, as far as EBITDA you were talking about, EBITDA cannot remain in the same level because your costs are going up. We have enjoyed the thing in the last year because of the low prices inventory for us, but now cost will be higher. I think that much. Anything? Hope it answers your both the questions.
But my view is our realization.
As I said, in our industry, it's very difficult to predict anything beyond 2 quarters. So I don't know. We cannot depend our projections based on these numbers. Okay. So we look for 2 quarters only. Beyond that, we need to see again.
It is understood, but thing is that we are at Infra, we are more concerned with the ferrochrome price in China than in ferrochrome price in Europe. If China starts improving, our realizations will also start improving. And I am discussing from the angle of UG2 price. UG2 price, China is paying $300, which was around $165 earlier. So high price UG2 price they are willing to pay means they are willing to absorb a high ferrochrome price. And China paying a high ferrochrome price. Even tender price for May also has gone up. Ferrochrome price in China, tender price has gone up. All this is, I consider it as a positive for Infra, and we are more concerned with Asia than with Europe. So whatever is happening in Europe is okay, but we are more concerned with the Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and China. So we should have optimistic outlook for the 22-23. Okay, it is understood that beyond 2 quarters we cannot judge beyond 2 quarters. But UG2 is main indicator for us.
No, that is fine, but we cannot intend to this kind of speculation, Jitendra Bhai. Whatever is possible, we'll do that only. Beyond that, it's not possible for us to speculate anything.
No, not speculating. Just this is a business judgment.
As UG2 prices are going up, it might come down also going forward. China strategy, nobody knows. It's very difficult to predict anything in China.
Right.
They're talking the UG2 there, and then they will pull down the price, ferrochrome price. So how do we base our any projections based on that?
So there is no weakness in UG2. That is the point. That is my sense. The UG2 is very strong at $300. Even at $350, they started raising.
Those things are fine, but we don't want to speculate anything beyond 2 quarters.
Yeah, that is okay. But still, this realization should be higher. That is the point. 110,000 and
maybe higher, but nobody knows what it's going to be. So we are not going to give any figure beyond 2 quarters.
No, understood. Thank you. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Dipanj Ghosh with ICRA. Please go ahead.
Firstly, congratulations on the wonderful set of numbers. Just a couple of queries. So number one is that, sir, your current operational mine capacity, I understand, is close to 6.5 lakh ton. Of course, Ukinda also EC got enhanced, but it's yet to become operational. So your chrome ore consumption will be roughly 625. But despite having a 6.5 lakh capacity of mine, so why is it that your mine production is, 22 was close to 559. So, is there some problem to kind of ramp it up? Why is there even a need to buy ore from outside, given the road prices outside are quite high? So, is it due to blending or something?
Bijanand, would you answer that, or Sandeep would answer that?
I will answer it, no problem.
Yeah.
So basically, this lower in the production is happened this last year because of that 2-3 things. One is that heavy rain, unpredictable rain, and there is limonite extraction If you see the quarter 4, it is higher than the budgeted and it's 2,06,000. And also we used to buy some ore from here to go for our mix requirement in the furnace. So furnace requirement also there some low grade ore. So for that we are buying. Anyhow, we are going to like that Mahagiri Maya, we are up to our EC. Now we are going to increase our EC. So underground is meeting as per our capacity, everything. But this open cast, we are finding difficulty in this unpredictable thing. Intrusion of limonite, then heavy rain, unpredictable heavy rain. So these things are.
And so would it be possible to give us a number? What is your underground mining cost? Because of course open cast would be quite competitive, but underground, I mean, it's much more expensive than open cast. So just a number if you have at your disposal, sir. Open cast, underground mining cost per ton?
No, we don't have the separate numbers for that. The blended cost of chrome ore at Chaudhar all put together is around 6,500 rupees. That is the number we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sir, the next question is on the coal front. Of course, we've seen that in the spot auctions, okay, sir, the coal premium exceeding 300-345%. Of course, you have a very limited. So I just want to understand your, coal, because your yearly consumption of thermal grade coal, so your power plant, I believe is roughly 9.5 lakh tons. So how much of it comes from the washeries and how much, and somebody just said you have an FSA for 4.5 lakh tons. So if you could just give us that breakup, and sir, how are you reading this, 40 auction rates going up to 345, 350%? Because of course, now that, international coal prices are very expensive, people are scrambling for domestic coal from e-auction. And so also, what is the grade are you using, if you could just give us that number?
I'll answer.
Yeah.
So basically, we have 3 plants. 2 plants are basically CFBC boilers, where we are using the combination of 70 water reject, 30% grade 12 coal. Okay.
G12. Okay.
So G12 coal you used to get it from MCL, and our 50 megawatt whenever it is required for running in place of any breakdown or plant shutdown in 150 megawatt with their CFBC, there you go for a also with the auction. Okay. So what Bina Agrawal has told that approximately our requirement is approximately 5 lakhs from there, approximately 7 lakhs from washer rejects. So it's approximately 12 lakh ton coal. So we ensure approximately, because trains every time it has to come by rail and rack. So approximately 3.5 lakhs we have got rack, 1 lakh come by road. So whenever came for this one, they will come for this trains 6, 7. There also will buy for some our this way 300% premium everything. This is a spot auction. This is only spot auction. There people are profiting on this crisis.
Yes, sir.
So this is not a long run thing. So this type of premium can consider for the long run.
Okay. So any which way you said the spot e-auction, your quantity is very limited, 40 to 50,000 tons in the entire whatever.
No. Actually, this is a big question. They are not giving rake. We have got allotted rake. They are not giving rake. But coal are getting built up. They are sending to IPP to rake. So they are going for spot, which is by road only. Okay. So that's why it is going because people are low stock at their plant.
Okay. Fine. Thank you for the
Thank
clarification.
you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Abhijit Mitra with ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, just to understand this capex, what part of the planning is it in? The contracts already. The part have been already tendered out, or it's being vendors have been finalized. What stage is it? Because see, if EBITDA drops, the cost sort of normalize and EBITDA drops to the extent it was before. Do we have that optionality to slow it down, say in over 24, 25, or? the pace of the capex will be maintained. So if you can help understand what stages is this capex in.
Bijan, would you answer that?
For Kalinganagar, actually, we are targeting for March 25. By end this project will completed, then it will go for commission. So this setting up plant will take 2 years. So we have to build up this one by 23 March. So our almost all construction work and everything. So by calculating that, thus we have received the land. Today, incidentally, the demarcation is going on with the government of Odisha, President ITCO. So after demarcation and this one, in nature, we are not going for a total EPC. We are going in a modular system. That basic engineering, all these things, we are going for a DPR with some control that under process. Not yet decided. The clear picture will come in towards the first half of 23. In first quarter of 23.
Abhijit, to add on that, there is no question of slowing down the project now. Once we take up it, we have to complete it, and because both mining as well as furnace expansions are going on, and we are expecting more from our mines by FY26. So once we start, we will have to complete it.
Okay. So essentially 200 to 250 crores of run rate capex will have to sort of do at least over the 24, 25.
Yeah, I think FY23 may not be much amount, but FY24, 25 it would be, major chunk would come in those years.
Okay. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Anant Mundra with My Temple Capital Advisors LLP. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I just had one question. Sir,
Yeah.
when does our mine lease expire?
One is 2049 and another is 2055.
Okay, and how much is the reserve life, like, as in, I mean, until when year can we extract mineable? Is it there until that period?
Yes. I think we'll get enough ore by that time, and further it depends on the exploration. Further exploration, we will come to know whether we'll get beyond that or not. But as of now, whatever we have done exploration, years are going to last till then.
Okay. And so one more question. The coal linkage that we have with MCL, that is till what year? Until what year?
So it is started in March 23. It will expire in 5 years. So March 28. But that range.
Okay.
And in between, every year 1-2 trains used to come for auction. So we have to keep up going on.
Okay. All right. That's it from me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor with Kapoor Company. Please go ahead.
Just a small clarification. For this year, we are planning to mine around 6 lakh tons of chrome ore. This is versus 560 last year.
Yeah.
So how would be the ferrochrome production lined up, sir? This year we did 246. So what should be the...
This year also we are planning around 250,000, which is the optimum capacity we have. So this year also around that level we'll be producing.
Okay. And this then extra ore which will be mined 10%. What's the thought process? How would that?
Last year we had to buy around 1 lakh ton of ore, so we may not have to buy so much. Only for blending purpose we may have to go buy something.
Okay. And so just to clarify more here, that our cost has gone up by 8,200 rupees from quarter 3 to quarter 4, and that is what is expected ballpark number for quarter 1 also. However, the realizations have gone up from 1,06,000 to 1,20,000.
It is likely to be around 1,20,000 in Q1.
In Q1. And that includes the average for both spot and long-term contracts.
Yes. Average blended price, because 1,06,000 also is the average blended price of Q4.
Correct, sir. And out of the total quantity sold on a quarterly basis, how much is the spot and the contracted percentage, sir?
Deepak, would you know that number?
Yeah. Actually, it's more than 90%. Yes, kind of. It's not. It may not be long term.
No. He's talking about contract and spot, not export.
Spot is very less. Mostly it is more than 90%.
More than 90% is contracted quantity.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. And on the finance cost part, it was mentioned that we don't have, as in the balance sheet, we don't have any long-term debt, but still, sir, there should be working capital requirement is there. So the finance cost on an absolute number would look at what level, sir? For this year, it was around 52 crores for FY22. And now we have repaid all our long-term debt, but I think the working capital requirement is to the tune of 400 crores, sir?
Yes. So current year finance cost should be around 10 to 15 crore.
10 to 15 crores.
Yes.
And thank you, sir. And for the and one more clarification, I also read that export duty even on stainless steel has been imposed, sir, at 15%. An earlier participant did ask about it. Just googled it out, sir. It is being expected. So, sir, in that case, if the domestic stainless steel production goes down, since they also, if my understanding is that 25 to 30% of the largest stainless steel manufacturer is also contracted on an export basis. If that proportion goes down, then the availability in the domestic market would increase. So, since our commodity is benchmarked at international prices, so do you see any impact on ferrochrome prices going forward, or the one which earlier sir has mentioned about the demand destruction that may happen at these high prevailing prices would be more relevant for us to keep into mind?
See, as it is, we are exporting almost 90% of our product to Far East Asia, and ferrochrome prices are determined by European and South African players, not by Indian players.
Correct.
So Indian domestic price is also driven by the export price. So we should be more concerned about the export price rather than the domestic price. So what happens here is not going to determine our ferrochrome price. Okay.
Yes.
So yet to be seen the impact of export duty on stainless steel.
Right, sir. And lastly, sir, on the other expenses bracket, sir, it is all about variable part due to which the cost has gone up. That is the reason from last year level of 414, it is closer to 500 crore. Or do we have
mainly because of the selling expenses, because the sales turnover has gone up too high. So selling expenses have also gone up.
Okay, so it is proportional to what
yes
the selling prices are.
Yeah.
Correct, sir. Thank you for all the elaborate answers, sir, and all the best to the team.
Thank
you, sir. Namaskar.
Hello. Request all participants to limit the questions to 2 and come in the queue for any follow-up questions.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Yash Chanda, an investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity once again. A couple of questions. First, on the contracts or the long-term sales contract we have, 90% of the contracts are our sales are to contract. So how often do we revise prices for this? Are they linked to index? It is on a QP basis over the shipment or weekend, or is it on average of the last 15 days or first 15 days? How do we price this long-term contract?
Deepak?
Our major long-term contract is on a quarterly negotiation basis. So every quarter we negotiate based on the benchmark movement and other factors. And few are there which are linked to certain prices, benchmark prices or monthly prices of Chinese. Few are there, and other long term, when that's what I was about to explain that point in time, that we supply to one particular company on every month basis, but we don't have a established long-term contract, but every month we negotiate and do, so looking at the thing. So that way, but our major contract, that has, which is with POSCO, that we negotiate for a quarterly period. Others on monthly basis, somewhere it is negotiated, somewhere partly it is based on certain formula.
So if I, let's say, supposedly we negotiate at the start of Q1, this is whatever movement we have seen in the earlier quarter, that price will be the price at which we will dispatch throughout the Q1?
Yeah, we discussed basically how is the movement in benchmark price and what is the scenario and what is in other part of globe. So with that, we conclude certain things at a price which is naturally up for the Q1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sir, second is on the tolling side. So in the articles, multiple times it has been mentioned that Tata has partnered up with various small ferrochrome manufacturers in the state, to which it provides coke and chrome ore and gets ferrochrome in return, kind of leasing their facility for a fixed price. So does INFA have any plans for tolling also?
No. We don't have any plan for tolling because we have our enough chrome ore with us. So we have no spare capacity to enter into any tolling arrangement with anybody.
No. Do we plan to give our ore to some other to expand our ferrochrome production, sir?
No, we don't have a spare ferrochrome chrome ore also. Okay, we expand our capacity based on our requirement only. So as you might have heard earlier, we are planning 2 more furnaces, and whatever ore is going to come, we'll consume that.
Yes, sir.
So we don't have a spare capacity of chrome ore as well as furnaces.
Sir, just one clarification on this NSR part. Last question from my end. You said average realization is 1,06,000 for Q4.
Yes.
And is it gross realization or net sales realization what we are getting? Because other expenses also are selling expenses, as you have told.
No, this is the gross realization I am talking about. Then other expenses are the selling expenses are booked under other expenses.
So how much will that be, sir, on an average per ton?
Sorry?
Per ton of chrome ore, what will be our average selling expenses, sir?
Deepak, would you have that number? I don't have that number.
Maybe 6,000 to 7,000 additional for everything put together probably.
$100, sir.
But I'm not 100%, but it will be freight and other things put together, $7,000.
So roughly $90 to $100, right, sir? Thank you. That will be all from my side.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for the day. On behalf of Perfect Relations Private Limited, that concludes the conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you.
Thank you.